You know, the music is not just a soundtrack, it's a soundtrack to coup d'etat. So music was actually very much a historical agent, and I could not but make music into a protagonist in the layering of the film. It's political, but it's also entertaining. And I feel that's so much more effective because in reality, very often life is very contradictory and there's all these juxtapositions.
One of America's most popular emissaries arrives in the troubled Congo on a State Department's goodwill mission. Louis started swinging outraged Radio Moscow, which blasted Armstrong's visit as a diversionary tactic.
The people of the Congo are entitled to build up their country in peace and freedom.
And then, of course, the jazz ambassadors that were sent out to win the hearts and minds of the global South, you know, Dizzy Gillespie or, you know, Duke Ellington or Louis Armstrong. And then they're sent out to defend democracy, which is ironic and schizophrenic, of course.
In the UN, when Khrushchev took off his shoe and was beating that shoe, and the interpreter said, "How dare you?" Talking about America. Khrushchev was saying, "I love you," but it was the interpreter who hated America. You understand what I mean?
They pirated it, but I love that they pirated in Kinshasa, that it's actually going around in the Congo. But I had actually a lot of dialogues with the Friends of the Congo. The Friends of the Congo have set up a focus group as well. I can give you all the emails. And they use the film as an activist tool to talk about what's going on in the East Congo as well. No, it's not the story of Mobutu. It's a story and dissecting how the first premier, democratically elected premier, was overthrown. And they were good friends. Lumumba and Mobutu were very good friends.
He survived.
Yeah, but Mobutu was already groomed during the Expo of 1958 in Brussels, because Larry Devlin at the time was working at the American embassy, and he was grooming Mobutu already at that time. But Lumumba knew that, and he said maybe he's going to come around because they believed in African solidarity. But Mobutu's story is less important. Also, the murder on Dag Hammarskjöld is not important for this film. It was more of a subplot. We had it in there because we ended the film with 1966 Kwame Nkrumah overthrown by the CIA. You know, the Soviet premier Nikita Khrushchev overthrown in 1964 and written out of Soviet history, relegated to his dacha. 1961, September 1961, Dag Hammarskjöld, you know, murdered. Malcolm X, 1965, murdered in Harlem. So I had a whole list where Dag Hammarskjöld was included in that list, and André Blouin, who actually, after two more extra murder attempts, made it from Swiss to Paris. That was the ending after the coup. I love to give this film for free when it's educational tools. I'd love to share it. I love to share this film. I think the film should be seen for as many people as it can, and it should be an educational film as well. So it's shown in schools in Belgium. About Congo I know less, but I know that Malia Mungu, who's a Congolese filmmaker, her uncle died now recently, a month ago, and they couldn't find the uncle. Then apparently he got died by the hands of M23. And she's very much an advocate as well. She's taken the film around also in several areas in the Congo. But if you want to get connected to the Friends of the Congo, I can gladly do that. But it's used also as a tool by the Friends of the Congo. We had recently a showing at Haarlem, opposite Hotel Teresa, and that was together with the sons and daughters of Max Roach, Archie Shepp, and it was a very lively discussion. We had to send a lot of people away because, you know, it was twice sold out, but there was a lot of people that actually lived also the period when what happened in Haarlem at the time, and so I feel there is a bit of a homecoming to the film as well, where it's also, you know, they invite me now in South Africa for also screening together with André. It's the Tricontinental Institute by Vijay Prashad, who's a global South scholar, who actually started the André Blouin Award that has become an award for journalists and writers when it comes to the African continent.